Hello everyone. So today I wanted to show you a script that I have been using for creating thumbnails, and I have covered this in one of my video before. I have covered how to do this using nothing but ffmpeg, and this is actually great because when you are uh, when you are short of time, or maybe you want to do so many things in life, you want to basically automate things, and that is a great thing about using Linux and terminal based utilities, because you can customize a lot of things. You can actually improve your workflow. Now this is the version 2 of the video that I made earlier. I think it was in May this year, or no, not this year, last year, when I talked about how to generate a thumbnail. And the script that I use is basically using a few inputs, and based on the inputs, the image, the thumbnail will be generated. Of course, using either the text that I will be passing or the images. So let me show you what I will be doing today. And what I also want to do, I of course want to share the script with all of you so that you can also use it. So this is a script, and as you can see, this is a shell script which is basically using nothing but ffmpeg, because when you're dealing with ffmpeg, it is a wonderful tool, but when you have to pass multiple arguments, it can get really lengthy, and using a shell script makes sense. Now this shell script will basically take multiple inputs, and before I even show you the script, let me just run the script, and let me just show you what I'm trying to do here. So let us say you are making a YouTube video, and for this particular example, I'll probably use one anime, or whatever image that you want to use. So I just searched this online, and maybe I want to search for something which is free to modify and share and use. So let me search for something that is not really going to cause any problems license wise. So let me just try to find. Now I'm getting a bit picky, and let us use this image. I think this is good, and it is quite crisp and clear. So what I'll do, I'll probably uh, save this image as anime. I'm sure I have this file somewhere. With the name anime in on my desktop. So I'll just save it. So let us go to my desktop, and anime.png. Okay, so this is the image, and what I will do now, I will basically use this script which will generate the thumbnail. Now in this particular script, there are, I believe, 8 arguments, and I know it may sound a lot, but trust me, if you are doing it on a regular basis, you can obviously use this command that you used earlier, or the script that you ran earlier in your history, and it is not really going to take a lot of time. For example, let us say I want to generate the script right now, or the thumbnail. So what I'll do, I'll probably press Ctrl R, and I'll do generate, and it will basically bring up the command. So this is a good thing about Linux. So I can pass here the first argument, which is let us say generate thumbnail, and I will pass here second argument, which is my second line of text. And by the way, you don't have to pass 2 lines, or basically I'll show you the image, but you don't have to basically pass the argument. You can just use blank text here. And the first argument is the background image, so basically the image that you want. Then I'm also using a couple of other arguments. For example, the second image that I'm passing here, or basically the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth argument, is basically another image that I sometimes want to include, and maybe a fourth image on the right hand side, but right now it is blank. So basically the only image that will have on this particular thumbnail is the anime.jpg or png. I'll probably just modify the, I think it is definitely png. Let me just change it to png, and then what you need to do, you need to pass in the hexadecimal value of the background color of the text that you want. So let me just use here black color, a simple black color, and also for the second argument, which is again nothing but a black color. And by the way, if you are using a D menu, you can actually get these hex values of your colors using this D menu prompt that actually can save a lot of your time. So for example, if you need something which is a bit purplish, or whatever you prefer. So for example, this particular color for EasyBI, I can also type here EasyBI and it will actually paste the color for me. So let us first run the script, and the last argument is actually about the transparency of the color. So let me run this, and I guess it will overwrite the existing image, and let us take a look at the image. So I need to now show you the image. Okay, so this is the image, and of course, it is looking quite good in my opinion. I like it. Of course, we can modify this slightly. So let me just press Control C to cancel this, and let me just use maybe a different color, and I'll just use the color that I pasted just now, or I copied just now from my D menu, which I know is a bit purplish. And what I want, I don't really want this background color with no transparency. I want some transparency. So maybe 0.3, which is like 30%. So let us run this again. And if I show you the image, now this looks not bad. It is of course a bit purplish, and there is some text on top of it. And of course, you can modify it further if you want, and you can actually leave your first text, the first line of text. And if you do it again, maybe this time I will probably increase the or decrease the alpha, maybe 50%. Okay, so let us run this now, and let us take a look at the image. So this looks quite good actually. You're doing it without any editor. You're just using ffmpeg, and this is of course wonderful because we are actually saving a lot of time. So let us take a look at the script. So the script is, as I mentioned before, it is taking a few arguments. And by the way, this script, because when you're dealing with scripts, don't just use $1, $2 in your scripts. Create a variable so that you know later on what this argument number is all about. So for example, the first argument is label 1, label 2, then the background image, then second image, third image, and the color for the first label, and then color for the second label, and then the transparency, which is again the last argument. And if you look at the actual script here, the script is basically taking three inputs on bg image, which is the main anime.png image, and then second image and third image, which can be blank, or when I say blank, I'm actually passing a blank.png. So basically it is an image with transparency. So I don't have to check for null value. I can just pass in the image as it is. And the main thing that is actually happening here is the filter complex. In ffmpeg, there is a concept of this filters that you can use, and using filter complex you can actually do a lot of wonderful things. For example, the very first thing that I'm doing here is basically using the background image and then resizing it. So let me show you what I mean. So if you go back to the image, and if you look at the image that we downloaded from the internet, this particular image has the size of 1200 by 750, or it could be anything, by the way. But if you look at the output.png, which is the image that we generated, we are looking at 1280 by 720. So basically I'm using the YouTube's recommended size, which of course is also mentioned here in the script. So basically, if you, irrespective of the size of the image, when I try to do it, I make sure that the background image, the image that I'm using, is already with a proper size. But if you're trying to generate, let us say, memes, or maybe you want to generate a random thumbnail using your own image, or maybe the image that you download from the internet, maybe your anime or whatever, you can actually make sure that it is of you're actually resizing it. So you can, the very first thing is resizing it. Then rest of the things are of course doing something similar, but I'm again resizing the second image, I am resizing the third image, then I am basically, and whenever you do something with the filter complex, you have to basically specify the input, which is 0V. 0V means the first input's video, which you can rename it to as a BG resize, whatever name that you want to give on the right hand side. Again, for the second image and third image is usually the cartoon that you see on my thumbnails. And then you can do overlay. So the very first thing I'm doing here is that I'm overlaying the background image, the anime.png, the background of, the actual size of the thumbnail with the first image. Then I'm of course overlaying it again with the third image. And when you overlay, you can specify the location where you want to overlay. And then finally, I'm drawing the text on top of it. So I'm drawing two text. So when you draw text, you have to again specify the input, like, you want to draw the text on BG1. And BG1 at this stage is basically all those three images that we have overlaid. So this is the input. And when you draw the first label, basically the first text, you can actually specify here the font, which is basically the font that I have on my computer. So basically there is a font path, which I'm sure I'm using here in the script. And at the same time, I am also using font color, font size, and also the transparency for those labels. And of course, you can make the script a bit more, customizable for you if you want. But for me, it works. And the final thing that I'm doing is I'm generating this output.png file. So this is of course wonderful. And of course, if you're looking at the script, this script can be, because all my scripts are in my path, so I can actually generate them from wherever I want. And if I want, I can also specify, let us say if I'm generating a thumbnail for my YouTube video, which I can show you. For example, if you look at any of my recent videos thumbnail, for example, this one. So if you look at this particular thumbnail, the background where it says the Jira Cloud, it is the main background image, the first argument. Then of course this cartoon and the screenshot that you see here in the background, this is these are the two images. So we can actually do something here as well. So maybe I want to specify the screenshot, and I also want to specify, instead of blank, maybe I want that cartoon that I usually have in my script, on my screenshot. And if I press enter, let us see let us take a look at the thumbnail. So this is of course the thumbnail, and imagine I'm doing it without doing any editing at all. Of course, things are a bit if you look at the location and everything, everything is of course static, but it is a script. And if you want a bit more flexibility, you can of course write the script based on maybe some location. Maybe you can organize these images that you see based on maybe relative position. So there are so many wonderful things that you can do, but this is the idea here, that you are doing these things without opening GIMP or Inkscape, for example. And I thought I'll probably show this to all of you today, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who want to do something similar. For example, I love making YouTube videos, and I have always tried not to do any video editing or not to spend time generating thumbnails, because I want to utilize my time. I want to create the video, show you what I have to show, and then move on to something else, because I just have 24 hours in one day, like everyone else, I guess. But some people are really efficient, and I want to be efficient, and this is my way of getting better at what I do, by not spending too much time generating thumbnails that can be generated using a simple shell script and ffmpeg. And that is all I wanted to talk about today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.